In this video, we're going to talk about the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, the brand new smartphone gimbal from Insta360. Now, full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Insta360, and with that in mind, this is a product showcase rather than a full review. I totally understand why some people are skeptical about sponsored videos being completely unbiased, and so in order to try and avoid that, I'll focus on showing you what this product does in as neutral a way as possible without adding my personal opinions. I'll just include sample footage, unedited, so you can see how this thing performs, and then by the end of the video, you can decide for yourself whether this product is right for you. Okay, so getting started is simple, and you get everything that you need in the box. You can pair your phone to the gimbal using Bluetooth, or if you've got a compatible iPhone, which is an iPhone 12 or newer, you can use the NFC tab to simply hold your phone to it for a moment and pair it that way. If you do have a compatible phone, you should definitely use this method, as this then allows you to take advantage of native subject tracking in third-party apps, which, as you'll see in a moment, is going to be a key feature of this device. Once the initial setup is complete, reconnecting your gimbal each time is dead easy. Simply attach your phone to the gimbal using the included magnetic mount or MagSafe mount, then fully extend the gimbal upright to wake it up. Unlock your phone, and the connection should establish automatically. Both mounts that I tried worked well when I was using the device. The regular mount has enough flex to handle even the widest of smartphones with a case on, and the MagSafe one makes attaching to compatible phones really easy. Plus, it's a kickstand when you've not got it on the gimbal. In the box, you get the Flow 2 Pro itself, the magnetic phone clamp, a quick start guide, a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and a protective pouch. The MagSafe mount is an optional accessory. Down at the bottom of the handle, there are 3 legs that you can pull down and fold out, creating a built-in tripod. And this means that you can freestand it on a desk or another flat surface if you need to. I wouldn't necessarily try freestanding it on an uneven surface like a rock when you're out and about, but if that's a feature that you think you might use occasionally, there is also a 1/4-inch thread at the bottom, and this lets you easily attach it to a tripod or any other kind of accessory. You can also pull on the gimbal itself to extend a selfie stick, which adds about 20 centimeters of reach. I'm not really a selfie stick kind of guy, but the ability to use it to capture interesting angles, whether that's way above head heights or dropping your phone to a much lower angle without bending down, is really useful. There is also a feature called free tilt mode, which is ideal for this kind of situation. Build quality is good. It's a smartphone gimbal, so I wouldn't expect it to feel too premium. And understandably, I think Insta360 have been focusing on keeping the weight down. The tripod legs in particular do feel like something that could be easily snapped if you're not careful, although they are made out of metal to be fair, so perhaps they'd fare better than they feel like they would. On the side of the gimbal, there's a USB-C port labeled in for charging, and another USB-C port on the magnetic clamp labeled out. And this is because you can connect a USB-C cable from the gimbal to your phone, allowing the gimbal to act as a power bank. This could be handy for giving your phone a quick charge or providing continuous power while you're shooting, and Insta360 claims a battery life of around 10 hours. When not in use, there is a clever little locking mechanism next to the trigger button on the back of the handle, and this ensures that the gimbal stays securely closed and won't accidentally come apart in your bag. Okay, so once connected, you're going to want to use the gimbal. So how does it perform? In terms of image stabilization, there isn't much I can say other than showing you some examples on screen with comparisons of simply holding my iPhone out in front of me and then using it on the gimbal. Image stabilization has improved dramatically in smartphones these days. My iPhone 16 Pro has an action mode feature built into it, although do keep in mind, this does require you to hold the phone, which if you're trying to capture footage very high up or down close to ground level is going to be really difficult to pull off just by holding it. You get the image stabilization of the gimbal here along with the selfie stick, so filmmakers are going to have plenty to play around with here. It's also worth quickly mentioning the smart wheel, which allows you to do loads of different things with a combination of presses, long presses, and swipes. You've got a shutter button on the left, a C button up top, which lets you do things like 360-degree rotations and even barrel rolls, an M button, which changes the follow mode of the gimbal, and a rotate button, which lets you switch between the front and rear camera and switch between portrait and landscape mode. Honestly, I think once you've assigned the key things that you want to do to memory, you should be able to perform pretty much every action from the trigger without having to touch the screen of your phone. You can even rotate the smart wheel to zoom in and out, and the trigger button on the back lets you control active tracking. Speaking of tracking, there are 2 ways that you can use this. You'll either use the Insta360 app, which you can download for free from the App Store, or you rely on the built-in Apple Dock Kit functionality available in more than 200 compatible apps on most modern phones. This is where that compatibility and NFC connection is needed, and all you do is attach your iPhone to the gimbal and open a compatible app. That could be the iPhone camera app, FaceTime, a professional camera app that you've downloaded from the App Store, or even Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Zoom for online meetings. There's loads of options here. Essentially, any app that uses your iPhone's camera will work with the tracking feature automatically without you needing to do anything extra. You can enable or disable active tracking by tapping the trigger button on the back of the gimbal handle. You'll know that tracking is active if the tracking ring light slowly pulses green. Your iPhone will then use its Dock Kit functionality to track. So if you're someone who likes to pace around while you're on a Zoom call, or you live stream on Instagram while moving about a lot, this is a feature that you'll probably get a lot of use out of. The other method of active tracking is built into the Insta360 app itself. With this, you've got significantly more control over the way that you track. You can draw over a subject on your screen using your finger. So for example, if I were trying to capture tracking footage of one of my kids, but my dog kept coming in and out of the shot, which is exactly what she does whenever I'm trying to record videos of the kids, I could specifically tell the software to track my kid and not my pet. This is a key advantage of using the dedicated Insta360 app compared to the built-in active tracking, where your phone tries to figure out things on its own, and tracking in the Insta360 app is night and day better than the Dock Kit functionality. Insta360 is calling this Deep Track 4.0, and one of the key features is that the tracking can be interrupted. Maybe you leave the room for a moment and then pick back up when you come back into frame. It works well in my experience, provided that you allow the software a second to pick you up again when you re-enter the frame. You can also tap a button in the app to enter tripod mode, which then allows you to access the tracking plus mode, and this then enables active zoom tracking, where the gimbal will not only track the subject, but zoom in and out as needed to crop the footage accordingly. You can also use it for 360-degree infinite panning, which again is going to be a feature that video creatives are going to really enjoy. And the app does feature multi-person tracking, which I wasn't able to test out myself, but it essentially ensures that the app tracks both you and the people near you, which is going to be good for group shots. Those are the main features of this product, but there's a few more worth mentioning. There's a pro framing grid, which lets you not only use active track, but even assign the tracked subject to a side of the frame rather than dead in the center. You can remote control the gimbal via the Insta360 app using either another iPhone or even your Apple Watch, complete with a little video preview of what you're seeing. You can also use hand gestures like a palm up or a peace sign to activate tracking and begin and end recording. The app has a built-in teleprompter, so you can use the forward-facing camera and read a script, all while being tracked around. You can also use it to create fun visual effects like motion lapses, time lapses, and panoramas. So that's the Flow 2 Pro by Insta360, an extremely capable gimbal for the iPhone. It's available at a price of $160 for the standard bundle or $190 for the creator bundle, which includes the MagSafe mount, a spotlight, and a right-angle USB-C cable. If you're interested in picking one up for yourself, you can do so via the link in the description of this video, where the first 30 people to buy will also receive a free gift of a MagSafe mount.